Proportions are a relationship. So when we talk about proportions, we are talking about how much something is increasing or decreasing with respect to something else. For example, there are two types of proportions. One thing is called directly proportions. That means directly proportional, or it can also be called directly varies. It can also be called a variation. Now, if something is directly proportional to something, the relationship is, if something increases, let me call that x, then the other value also increases, let me call that y. That doesn't mean that it has to increase all the time. If something decreases, the other thing will also be decreasing. So there is a relationship between the two. This is called direct proportion. There are many things in the world that's directly proportional. For example, if you think about the more someone spends, the more maybe the debt they have, or the more they have stuff in their house or anything. The more you do something, the more you have something of it. If someone smokes more cigarettes they smoke, the more severe case of lung cancer they have. The relationship between the two is direct. That's called directly proportional. And another thing is inversely proportional. So inversely proportional, or varies inversely. In this case, if something of the value increases, the other one decreases. There is an inverse relationship. For example, the more you spend time partying, the less your grades would be. There is some sort of an inversely proportion. And in the same way, if something else decreases, the other one increases. And there are relationships like that. If you compress the volume of something with your hand, what would happen? You'll feel more pressure. So the volume of something is inversely proportional to the pressure. So these are the relationships that we are talking about. Now, if you think about the technicality, how it is expressed, and inversely proportion and directly proportion, it is expressed like these. In directly proportion, it's written x is, this is the proportional symbol. Looks like the pound sign, a bit like that. Inversely proportional to y, it is mathematically written as x is equals to some constant of proportionality into y. Now, what is the constant of proportionality? Suppose x increases by 1, maybe y doubles. That means although one is increasing with the other, but how much is the other increasing? That's called the constant of proportionality. Maybe the constant of proportionality is 5 times. If x increases by 1, y might increase by 5 times. So this relationship is called the constant of proportionality. In directly proportional, what happens? The constant of proportionality, if you send the y to the other side, it is going to be x by y equals to k. So this is the constant of proportionality. So whenever you see that there is a directly proportional, instead of thinking of all these stuff, I want you to think about x1 by y1, the value of the constant, will be equal to the constant found by x2 by y2. So this is the stuff that I want you to remember. Whenever you're thinking about proportionality, directly proportional, you're thinking about the constant. How much is the other increasing with respect to the other one? So x1 by y1 is equals to x2 by y2. If we do a sum here, it would be like this. Let's do it here. Suppose they're telling you the value of x is 3 when the value of y is 9. What is the value of x when the value of y is 15? This is some sort of a very simplified sum. Usually there is a context given, a story given, how the sum is done. Maybe x is the value of something and y is the value of something else. Maybe if the price of sugar increases, then the price of coffee also increases, and so on and on. They give a story like that. But here, in the most basic sense, we can write x1 by y1 is equals to this other value x2 by y2. So the proportionality, the constant of proportionality is constant. So we can write the first value is 3 and the second value is 9. This other value we don't know, we want to find it out, and the second value we know what that is. So if we do basic arithmetic, 3 ones are 3, 3 threes are 9. So we can write, if we cross multiply, 15 divided by 3 equals to x. So 3 5s are 15. Therefore x equals to 5. That is going to give us the value. So this is the proportionality sum, directly proportional. Similarly, we can do the inversely proportional sum. If something is inversely proportional to something, we write it like this. So let me draw a line out here. This was directly proportional. So this was the sum. Now let's talk about inversely proportional. If x is inversely proportional to y, we give 1 by y. In algebra, 1 by y called the reciprocal or the inverse of y. So this is how it's written: x proportional inverse of y. So this is again written x equals to constant of proportionality into 1 by y. So that makes it k equals to x into y. Similarly, if x increases, by how much y decreases. So that's the relationship here. So here the relationship that we get here is x into y gives us the constant. So it is going to be x1 y1 equals to x2 y2. So this is going to give us the constant of proportionality, and this is going to give us the sum for inversely proportional. x1 y1 equals to x2 y2. We do most of the sums using the concept of proportionality. For example, if you want to convert something, they're always increasing or decreasing by a fixed constant. For example, 1 meter is always 100 centimeter. That means if you increase one of the other 1 meter, the other one will increase by 100. So that's the constant of proportionality. So we can actually do any type of conversion sum using the concept of proportionality. Also, if we are talking about buying something or selling something, we are always buying it at a particular rate or selling it at a particular rate. So that fixed rate gives us the concept of proportionality. Now here, if we do a sum, it could be x and y are inversely proportional. So if we have one value like 5 and the other value is 10 and other value is 7, what would be the other value? This time we know it is inversely proportional. So if it is inversely proportional, we can write x1 y1 equals to x2 y2. So that means we can put in the values. So if you put in the values, it's going to be 5 into, I'm using brackets. It's a good idea to use brackets instead of the multiplication sign because it's confusing with this x, into 10 equals to x2 is 7 and y. This y we want to know what the value is. So let me put it in bracket as well. So this is going to be 5 tens are 50, and if I divide it by 7, I'm going to get y. So 50 by 7 is going to be something of 5 5s are 35, 7 6s are 42, so 7 8s are 56, 7 7s are 49. This is going to be 7 point something. So let me keep it here. So this is the inversely proportionality. So this is how we do the sums. So whenever we do a sum regarding anything, it can be conversion, it can be any that type of a thing, and we can do it in this way. And that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be only in x and y term. Let me do another sum here. Let me draw out a line here and let me do one more sum. Let me do one more sum around here. Suppose this time they are telling us that the square of x varies means directly proportional. Another, inversely varies means inversely proportional, varies means directly proportional. To the cube of y. In that case, we know that directly proportional means the constant can be found by x by y. That means x by y, x by y. So here the first one that we have is square of x. So this is going to be x square by y cube. This is our first value. And x square by y cubed. This is our second value. So if we put the values, it is going to be, suppose someone is saying if x equals to 1, y equals to 3, x equals to what when y equals to 5. If that is the question, we can put that x value is 1. So 1 square by y's value is 3. 3 cubed is equals to, we have to find the value of x, so let me put x squared, and the value of y is 5, so 5 cubed. So from this relationship we can actually find this is 1 squared is 1, 3 cubed is 3 into 3 is 9, 9 into 3 is 27, and this is x squared divided by 125. So we can actually write, therefore 127 divided by 27 is equals to x squared, and we can send this square to the other side and we can write, therefore x equals to, we always have to give a plus minus sign, square root of 125 divided by 27, and we can find the value of this.